And we are live?
You want to live from your personal ID? No, this is
Yeah,
not
no,
live.
we are live. We are live on the Reba page. Okay, welcome
Okay, okay,
everybody.
Reba page. Yeah.
And so it's always exciting. And especially I will make Joanne the host now, a co-host, because in India, I am in Hyderabad. You see Mount Kailash behind me. And the electricity might go off, so we we better make sure that it continues even if I'm not here. So welcome everybody who's watching us on Facebook or maybe later watching the recording. We have been celebrating Leonard Orr's birthday now since 6 years without him. And so every birthday of his, we have considered that and made that the Physical Immortality Day. And so we have a few topics that we can talk about today in regards to that, and also about his life's accomplishments, of course. And we already posted some voices from Heidakan about Leonard's life. And so Leonard Orr was the founder of rebirthing breathwork, but we could consider him the founder of all modern breathwork, all connected breathing, because that he inspired Stanislav Grof by giving him sessions. He inspired the Osho movement by giving people of the Osho movement session. And so he was wandering around the world and giving sessions wherever he could. And we are well, that is 50, what was it, 50 years ago? What did we celebrate? Yeah, 50 years of accomplishing that. He started in the 60s, but then till he perfected the method, it took him a few years experimenting, because first he didn't understand the method. But we talked about that a lot, so I'm not going so much into the breathing today. But we are going to talk about the topic of physical immortality, or as we posted it also in our newsletter, maybe coming up with a new term, or a more explanatory term for the word, because physical immortality for us does not mean that you just have a lifeless body that is maintained by computer chips or something, that we become a robot. It is internalizing the spirit, the divine essence, into the physical. So it's bringing the divine self into the purity that in the physical body, and so that the physical body also transforms itself, and the structure, the cell structure, and all that will change into light and transfigure, so to speak. And there is different things, different people that talk about that, different masters that talk about that. And so I'm here in Heidakan, as I said, and I show you the Gautama Ganga, oops, and Mount Kailash there in the back. Here's the ashram. And ashram life now is quiet because it's lunch break, and we are getting up here at 4 o'clock in the morning and taking a shower, going for Chandan, which you see on my forehead. So if you wonder why I have a yellow forehead, that is actually removing old karma with the powder. And then the red dot represents the Divine Mother, and the rice is actually, I think, for prosperity. Arti will know a lot better than me, but and we do that every morning at 5 o'clock, and then we sing and we have Arti, and we do karma yoga after a little breakfast. Then, so I was vacuuming the temple today and sweeping the floor in another temple. And now it's lunch break, and then in the afternoon a bit karma yoga and Arti again. So Arti's name is actually the ceremony of the light. So Leonard used to come here, and Leonard spent much time also with Babaji here, and also traveling with Babaji, and that's yeah, Leonard loved this place. And so you hear the voices of those three friends here who talk about Leonard and their meeting. So Leonard gave sessions to everybody all around the world, and it impacted people. So everything that Leonard did had an impact. And he was not he was a triple Scorpio, and so he wasn't a pleaser. So some people his ideas were so radical, so it rubbed some people wrong. So the idea of physical immortality is for some people just a stupid idea. So that's why, and Leonard, wherever he went around the world, he talked about Babaji. And for some people, Babaji, the great divine director, is also difficult to understand. So Leonard's ideas were very radical, and he taught everybody Om Namah Shivaya wherever he went. And in the Western world, that was not such a known concept in the 70s. I mean, then Ram Dass went to see his guru, and so many people brought the mantra as well to the West, but that was in the relatively unknown in the West. And so the idea of physical immortality, as I said, Babaji, Leonard asked Babaji, of course, and Leonard was connected through Babaji through two different yogis. And so Babaji always sent him to special places to meet immortal yogis. And Shastriji, the priest who was at Babaji's side, he would call them Makan Singh yogis. In the Indian video, you also hear that they talk about Makan Singh, which is Makan is butter and Singh is a lion. So Babaji gave Leonard the name Makan Singh, the butter lion, the lion made out of butter, meaning he is a softy, a soft person, a formable person. And well, he was very soft. He had his feminine side very well developed. So he could be also very soft, but he was also very strong, goal oriented person. He had his masculinity also very, very well developed. So he was a very balanced person in that way. And I have a few things here on my list. So the first quest that I'm on, since many people now use the word physical immortality for just the physical aspect without the spirit, to computerize the body and make it into a machine, that's absolutely not what we want. So I'm also with our team here, we are in search that we can find a better descriptive word for how to ascend the physical body into the glory of the divine essence. So as I said, Leonard came the first time to India because he was looking for immortal yogi masters. He had heard about them in the US, and he was actually searching and wondering if they are still alive. And he always shared that first he found somebody who was 300 years old, but he ridiculed the idea of physical immortality, but he just had a certain level of mastery. And there's some clothes hanging in the background, so I just noticed that. That's okay. And then the second, I think the second time when Leonard came, he found Babaji, actually one of his friends, found Babaji, and Leonard thought that he is the greatest being on this planet. Babaji knew all thoughts of all people at all times. He was directing behind the scenes or very direct the actions of people, and he still is. And he was available for people to visit him in Heidakan till 1984. So, so for Leonard, Babaji was much more than an immortal yogi. He was the incarnation of the divine presence. But he learned and met immortal yogis. And I just found a book, or I left it in my room, about Bhatraji. Leonard Orr's book, actually, I found it yesterday in the bookstore here on Bhatraji. And so I now give it over for a bit to Joanne, and so that I'm not just speaking alone. And let's hear what Joanne wants to add.
I would like to add is like in terms of breathing, like why it's important to teach about physical immortality, because the more we breathe, the more energy we have available to us in our body, and the more energy like that supports our life urge, that energy, but it also supports our death urge. So if we, it's, to my mind, it's sort of irresponsible not to talk about physical immortality if we're teaching people to breathe, to do conscious connected breathing, because they can add energy to their death and bring it about quicker. Like that is very possible, and I'm pretty confident I've seen that happen in quite a few cases. So
it just brings everything up besides itself. So if people have a strong death urge,
that's right. Yeah. Or if something happens in their life that brings that up, like then they're more likely to go down that track because they've got more energy to whatever's happening. So I think that's an important point. And like one of the questions that was raised in the newsletter was whether my understanding about physical immortality has changed since I first heard about it, and it's changed a lot. And one of the things I realised is that the birth-death cycle is the same as a breathing cycle, like it has the same evolution, if you like, that we go through all our stuff about birth and death and we come to a place where, like in a breathing cycle, where we just want to be alive. That's all. There's no urge to leave the planet whatsoever. And like that, physical immortality is actually just a natural consequence of following our evolution, like that. And I think that we get to a place where we can choose, like, do we want to stay around or do we want to go? Like there might be somewhere else in the universe that we might want to play for a while and then come back later. Who knows? But I haven't got there yet. But so and I imagine that cycles, because I felt it in water as well. Like there's a definite cycle with water when you hang out with water, and with fire. Like there's all these cycle things happening. And the birth-death cycle acts exactly the same as any of them. So, that's how my understanding's changed about it. And in terms of the name thing, like I know you and we were talking about the luminous human, or, in terms of changing the name from physical immortality or something to something else. And then Irene suggested physical illumination, and I really like that one. Like, it just I think that those two words describe what we're going for really well.
I'll write it down again, so maybe we speak more. Yeah, I like that too, because the word light is in that, the illumination. Physical immortality doesn't, it's just that it stays, that it's immortal, but that it's lasting. But the illumination is what we are pointing out.
I suppose that's another point I wanted to raise, is that, like, even though I talked about that cycle stuff, like, I mean, the fact that Leonard passed, because he dealt with his death urge, like, you know, completed with his death urge a few times, according to him, and that he relearned it again from other people, that there's stuff we don't know about yet, but we're coming into an understanding, I think, or understanding of how our energy connects to other people and is affected by other people as well. That it's, yeah, I think that we're going to get awoke about that in, you know, in the next few years to come. But there's more to it than than just breathing, basically. You know, that we have to set up an environment that's conducive, I suppose, is what I want to say. Yeah, that we're not. And I think that's heaps easier for us than it was for Leonard, because he was bringing this through to us, and so, and you know, like, such resistance in the world, like, and I think you talked about this, and I maybe, I don't know, in one of these things, but how he could do that, how he, like, if you listen to his talks with people and stuff, you know, with big groups of people, you can actually hear the resistance at the beginning of the meeting, and people, you know, and laughing at him, and, you know, like, there's this huge resistance, and by the end of the talk, they're all soft with him. It's just it's incredible power that he had as a man, as a butter lion. Yeah, that was extraordinary. But yeah, of course that takes an energetic toll, which like, I know we know about EEP, but I think it's that it's even deeper than that. But I don't know what it is, but I just sense that that's there. You know, there's more to it. Like, you know, yeah, it's really important to start thinking about that we're all here as like a web. You can see here like a big web of energy.
Yeah, Leonard was plowing the way. I remember a meeting that we had with German rebirthers in the early 90s. I think the first trip that I did with him in Germany was in 92. So that might have been 94 or something. And Leonard was talking always about two important things. One was, of course, Babaji, and the other one was the physical immortality and the immortal yogi masters, and then money, and all those topics. And I remember there was a meeting, I don't know, with 100 people, and the energy of fury and rage that was coming from the audience about him saying those stupid things for them and their judgment. And Leonard was lying in the back of my car, holding his belly on the way home, because he felt so physically demolished by that meeting. But he just sat on stage after he talked about the immortal yogi masters and let them rage and let them express themselves. And then the anger he processed the anger, and then it calmed down. But he took so much shit, so to speak, so much energy for bringing a concept to people's awareness that was challenging everything that they believed in.
Yeah, I think the term is ploughing is very good, a very apt one. That's what he was doing, ploughing.
And as a triple Scorpio, he had that power, but that also meant that he wasn't concerned. He couldn't be concerned about what other people thought, if they liked it or not. And that's what some people really resented about him, because he wasn't pleasing. He wasn't trying to enroll them in some ways if they didn't feel like it. So, and he had that strength to present ideas that that just boggled people's minds.
That's right.
And so nowadays, the word physical immortality, you hear it everywhere, but now we have to see that the purity of what he meant was that. That's why we are looking for a better word for it, that we maintain that purity so that it doesn't get put in a pot. I'm also now associated with the anthroposophical teachings, and when they hear the word physical immortality, they're out. Nobody listens anymore, because that is exactly what they think the negative destructive forces are working with, because of turning the physical body into a machine, into something that functions without spirit, without your own personality or your I am presence. And so that's why times have changed. It's not that we don't like the idea anymore, but we just have to respond to what's happening in the world about this. And what you said about the breathing, you described the feeling that you just want to live, but that is only possible after we've used the breathing to purify, and all the other practices, till we purified our energy, our emotional body, to the point that it says, yes, I do want to be alive. I don't drown any longer in my misery, in all the biggies, in all the experiences that I had in life, but I can become a conscious creator. Can I hand it over to Arti for a moment? Is there anything that you would like? And then Joanne, you can come back on, of course, and share more. Arti, welcome to Rishikesh. Arti is in Rishikesh, and she's been a rebirther there since we trained her during COVID times. So since quite a few years, and very successful working with women in rural areas around Rishikesh, and her organization is Samvedana Foundation. So, welcome.
Thank you, Heike. Thank you, Joanne. I'm very happy that I can share here with you all, and I like in front of your experience. I just only the 5 years, so I'm not knowing much. But when I heard this word physical immortality from you, Heike, when I learned the rebirthing, and this is really amazing. And like when I heard about this more and understand more, then I read a few articles, from the Leonard Orr, and when I know about more the theory about behind the physical immortality and the perceptions of the Leonard Ode, I feel it's really very amazing. And what till now I understand about like in India, physical immortality is it's very common. In if we go in our ancestors' time, it's very common because people are like our saints, our yogis are very deep into this, and they know how to maintain their body, how to maintain their breath, and how they work on like the base of the spiritual purification. So they can maintain their vitality and their energy work. So I read somewhere that if your energy flowing well, then aging getting slow, like you are more near to your immortality purpose. So the what I understand about that, like uh, the quantity of A's is good, but quality of A's is more near to the your physical immortality. Like how long you are living, but you live fully. You are understanding your life purpose, and you do something for the society, for the nearby. Like you don't have any regret, like in my life, what I did or how I didn't do this like this way. So if we are working on our like a breathing system or any, not everyone knows very well about the breathing, but there are some other modalities like Reiki, heal different types of healing. But the purpose, if their energy getting flowing very well in their body, energy flow like prana, if working very well, they are working on their physical immortality, and they are very near to balance their health, their mindset. Because if mind is mental status is okay, if they are very well in their emotional well-being, then they come to on the very good life. Or like maybe I am not explaining well, I didn't find the right words, but
No, that's good. Yeah, keep.
yeah. So like f- the how much age you are living, but that much should be have some uh, purpose, like some meanings of the life. This
Yeah.
is what I feel, and I'm very happy to see you there, because last time I'm sharing with you at Haidakhanji and see the Mount Kailash, the enjoying time with you in Haidakhanji, and what you said about the Leonard. Or I heard many things from you, but when I was there in ashram, I heard from many people about Leonard. I met, maybe you remember, I forget the name of the guy who is taking care of all there. And he shared many thoughts with me, Megha and Deepak ji, like memories of Leonard. But that time he was, when Leonard was there, he was very young, like a 5, 6, 7 years old. But his father, grandfather are connected with the ashram, so he is very connect with Leonard or also. So he
Yeah.
shared so many things about Babaji and the things, and it's really amazing. I feel there, and yeah. So
Yes, thank you. And what you're saying is basically we are all working on our physical immortality. And
yes,
that is also true according to Steiner. There will be a transformation. The more pure we get, the more pure our mind gets, the more the physical body is transforming. It came from light and we dance down into the physical structure, and now
yes,
we are bringing it back up after we had the deep dive into the dense material physical world.
yes,
But the danger could be that we stay down here, and
yeah.
that's what some people use the idea of physical immortality for, that like you stay in the dense matter without getting it into the light, without illumining it. But
Hmm.
there is a transformation over the centuries, but it is a time, it takes maybe a little bit more time there. That is the future of humanity,
Yes.
a conscious incarnation, a totally present, immersed in spirit.
Hmm.
Thank you, Arti.
Mm.
And
Thank you. Okay,
you can later, if you have more, you're welcome to share.
yeah.
I just want to say that I have a little a few things that I wanted to share later about other masters, or we could say teachings. And I just want to point out that on the level up there, there is no competition. Like here in the world, people think when they have a message sometimes that that's the only one. But actually, the masters are all working together. And I think what you talked about, the life goal and the service, I mean, that was Babaji's message altogether. You know, you have to serve humanity, you have to serve the light, you have to serve the divine presence, and that gives a happy life. Only the seva, or the service, is what actually is meaningful, so that we do our best here in the physical to cooperate with each other, to support each other, to love each other, and to become better human beings. And that's also what Leonard Orr was all about. His teachings, or all the trainings, was about how can we become a more gentle, loving, kind, beautiful, internally beautiful human being. And so all his teachings, or everything that Leonard thought about, was about how do we get out of that misery, and how do we connect with our, what he called, natural divinity. Joanne.
Excuse me. I just wanted to say that like, it feels like to me like we can't help but serve each other. Like, energetically, we're doing that. It's just how much light we're doing it with is different. Like, because if, like, even if we're very densely in 3D or whatever, we're like, it's still energy interacting with each other to try and bring the awareness of God. Like, that's always what's happening. But it's miserable, as you say. And that as we go further and further down our track, that the actual service to God and service to light and illumination becomes more pure. And so, and because of that, it's more effective. I mean, that's what Leonard was. Like, he was holding so much light that he had incredible power to transform audiences, you know, like the mood of an audience. It's astounding what he could do. And I remember the first workshop I went to with Leonard, there was like 30 people there or something. And I could feel it being in his presence that he didn't actually even need to come to hang out with the participants there, that him being present on the property with those people all keen to breathe and whatever was transforming everybody. Like, that, it just couldn't not. And because of the power of his energy. Like, and how much light he was carrying. It was like his field just surrounded everybody and was holding them in the process. That's how I experienced his energy when I first met him. So
Yes, and he wanted us to love each other the same way, and so he for me, that's why I stayed with him no matter what happened, you know, everything. So, but his example was really inspiring, and the gentleness, and when the most difficult people came, and you could see them softening and healing. Because I mean, every mess in the emotional mind is basically just hurt. It's hurt and pain that people carry around, and we all had our share in that. And yeah, how we can transform that. And so I'm eternally grateful for Leonard for all the inspiration that he gave to me personally, but also to this planet. So I talked about the cooperation on the higher level, and so we could talk a little bit more about the immortal yogi masters, and Leonard called them his friends. So for Leonard, the immortal yogi masters, they were his friends because he was searching for them and he wanted to learn from them and be inspired by them. And so I mentioned Bhatraji already, but I left the book in the room, so I can't read anything. But there was a quote in there that I was going to mention about the transformation that the physical body is programmed with any of our thoughts and the quality of our feelings. And so it's charged up with that quality. And if that quality is pain and drama and hurt and anger and hate and all that, and sadness is as bad as anger. Angry people are not worse people than sad people. It's just all emotional pain that we carry around. And it just transforms itself. The events that we experience, they just transform themselves into either anger or sadness or rage, unless or till we purify that, until we heal that. And the good thing is we have rebirthing breath work, and we have the practices with fire, with water. And so here, after the meeting, I will go to the river, because now it's very cold and you can't go down to the river after a certain time, because the body doesn't heat up again, because it's at night is really, really cold. And but the practice of going into the river is really purifying. And so the immortal yogi masters, and maybe we have some examples of them. And then there's also the ascended masters. And I've recently, the last 1.5 years, I've been studying with the Saint Germain Foundation and the purifying effect of the violet flame. And I will share a little bit about that in a little while. And so there is also the angelic host. There is the angels, the beings that, and Steiner talks a lot about the hierarchies of the angels and how they are supporting, how they are helping humanity. Ciara is coming. Oh, how they're helping humanity to ascend, actually.
Oh, that's sweet.
And Ciara, welcome. And then, of course, we have all the spirits in nature, all the beings that are working and supporting us. And the support they give, or the cooperation, the constructiveness that is happening on those levels, that is what we have to learn, because we will be one of those beings that are living in that light. So cooperation is something that we can learn already while we are here in the dense matter, without the ascension, but the constructive, loving cooperation. So Leonard's teachings were very practical, very down to earth, very meaningful to our human relationships. Ciara, you want to join and share anything about physical immortality with us?
Hi everybody.
Hi.
I'm using my phone and I'm like, oh, where do I put the video on? Because I'm used to using my laptop.
You are in Australia also still, right?
I am. I'm up in New South Wales.
Yes.
Yes.
Joanne is in
yes.
Tasmania.
Yay.
Yeah. Do you like to share with us anything about your ideas on physical immortality?
Wow. Well, it was a few years ago that I have shared this before, that meeting Bhatrihari in Rajasthan, and he's a 2,000-year-old yogi that materializes and dematerializes. And for me, I loved that because it was the first time that I realized that we can change our reality and our material nature, and our physical form can, disappear if we want to, obviously a very evolved high level being that mastered the physical material world. And so for me, and I was with Leonard at that time, and Leonard was looking in the other direction, but he'd met Bhatrihari, many times before. But so that was very special for me, that occasion, and that is how I realized that it's possible. And that's what I love about India, and the openness, if you allow it, that this can happen. Yeah.
Yes.
And so
Go ahead.
And it was just after we had the Arti at the temple in the small village at Bhatrihari's ashram, and the energy was just amazing. Yeah.
So
what were you going to say?
no, well, the immortal yogi masters or the ascended masters or the angelic host, they're always with us, and we just have to put out the intention.
Yeah.
We have to call them in. They're not coming just if we are just living a stupid that's a judgment. I should rephrase that. If we are just living a life that that doesn't search for deeper meaning.
Yeah.
For them, that is, they have to be invited. They have to be called. They have to be. It has to be meaningful to us. Because we have free choice, and free choice means that we nobody will put something into us without us calling for it. So if we want ascension, if we want transfiguration, if we want spiritual learning, even if we just keep it on a lower level, whatever we want, we have to intentionally put that out there so that we can invite the angels or the masters to come in so that they can support us. And it's the same with Babaji. Babaji is aware of everything that we think and that we do, but nobody is going to interfere in our creation unless they come as help. They can only come as help to strengthen our choices.
Yeah.
And so
Arti, sorry.
Go on. Go ahead.
Sorry, finish. No, you finish.
So Leonard was always looking for the immortal yogi masters, and so that's why he kept coming to India and traveling the world, and just the possibility that they appear to us. Okay, Ciara.
Arti, whereabouts in India are you? Oh, sorry, you're on mute.
I'm from Rishikesh, Uttarakhand.
Oh, fantastic. I love Rishikesh. And that's where you are now?
Sorry?
Are you there now? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just...
Wonderful.
Yeah. Arti is managing the Rishikesh Sadan. That's where Annie and I got into lockdown when the...
Oh, that's right.
So that's... and we were locked down together with Arti, and we had a wonderful time there.
Wonderful.
Yes.
I remember that. Yes. Yeah. So yes, Leonard really
Go ahead.
When you'd first attend Leonard's lectures, and he talked about these immortal yogis that would materialize and then dematerialize, like, yeah, right. But then when it happens, it's like, okay, yes, it's possible. It is possible. Mm-hmm.
Leonard was talking always about the 100,000-year-old being or saint, and Sirumula, actually, and who has a temple in South India. And I had a friend at one point, no longer, but he said, "You believe everything that Leonard says. He talks about those 100,000-year-old Sirumula, and you believe it." I mean, for Indian, that's something that everybody is aware of, right? So it's part of the scriptures, and and for me that was natural. I mean, it's just something that rings true to me.
Yeah.
It's more than a belief system. It is a reality that we can tune in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Joanne? I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
It didn't work. I've got nothing to say.
No, you have a lot to say. Well, let me talk a little bit about this Saint Germain. Oh, I didn't bring those pictures. Oops. Saint Germain organization, they or his foundation, they work with the I Am chart. And I'm actually doing a talk on the 8th of January at 9 a.m. Central European time. If you wanted to learn more deeper about that, together with Helen from the Saint Germain Foundation, because some of us got really inspired recently by Saint Germain's work with the violet flame and the healing of the planet. And well, if you are interested about it, you could read the book, which is called Unveiled Mysteries. And it's described also the meeting. Huh?
Is that Blavatsky?
No, that's Theosophical. Blavatsky is Theosophical. And I will go and no, I shouldn't go and bring the chat. I should I'm a bit spaced out in Heidakan.
Yeah.
And so the book talks about the meeting that let me just look that and the transformation and the ascension. And the ascension of different people is described in that book. And I don't have that. Okay, I need to look for that. So, Ciara, you want to take over for a moment? Let me just get myself a bit better prepared. Ciara?
Okay, just unmuting myself.
Yes.
Well, you see, so I've come to a position of I don't actually mind leaving my body. It's not that I've got a deathist mentality, but I'm at peace with the concept. Yeah. Because I know that we are immortal anyway.
Yes.
So I've been thinking about it long and hard, and especially after I had a diagnosis of cancer, I really looked, and it wasn't my time, so I'm still here.
Which you transcended, right? The cancer.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, let me say.
Transmuted, I'd say.
Yeah. So let me say something about the death urge and my own personal example for that, because when we talk about those topics, it is very important that we are honest about it. And so 1 month ago, my mom passed away, and I was blessed to be the last 10 hours with her, and also staying longer with her. And I think when our parents die, there is transformation also in our physical body. So Leonard was talking about the death urge when it is when our parents die, that it gets triggered and activated. And what I love about the Saint Germain Foundation is that that there is a transformation possible also in the death experience. But ultimately, the goal is that you can transform the body beforehand, so that the ascension happens. And I'm not supposed to mix it, so that's why I want to now just speak about the Saint Germain Foundation. So, but we are living in a world that is totally dominated, as Leonard called it, by death. And so the daily life, we are in the process of dealing with each other in not necessarily always constructive ways. So we are seeing the pain and the human suffering, and it has an effect on our cellular structure and our physical body. So my mom, when she passed, I had to do very special cleansing and transformation, because seeing somebody going through the death process has such an impact. I mean, I could feel that image of my mom grasping for the last breaths, the last 10 hours, and the physical discomfort that she seemed to be in. And but once she was on the other side, and I knew that she had found the light and that she was rising up, it changed our relationship, and it changed my perception of it. But still, I was dealing with the physical impact of that memory in my physical body. So the impact of participating and holding hand and holding the energetic space for her and suggesting that she can let go had a big impact on my cellular structure. And we can only transform that or transcend that by conscious effort of tuning into the higher physical reality, the higher spiritual reality. Otherwise, all these memories and these experiences stay stuck on a lower physical level. And that's really part of the death urge. And so when I did some healing on that, because I also did healing with my mom on all the memories that she had in her physical structure, in her physical body, so that the body could be burned and transcended. The idea of physical immortality or physical illumination means that we don't hang on to any kind of suffering. And that's why people love the afterlife, because that's what we associate with it, that we're actually out of a physical structure that is painful, that is heavy. And that's why we value, and if our physical body has a certain density or a certain experience of pain, at some point we say, okay, that physical body, I have no more power of transforming it somehow. And so that's where the ascension comes in, that actually I'm transforming my physical structure to a vibration where there is no pain. And that's basically the world of spirit. And so we have to be clear on the concept or the goal that I have for myself. Yes, of course, we will all go into the world of spirit. And the only question is, are we including or involving the physical structure in the transformational process? Do I realistically can see that as an option? And obviously, Leonard, the last 2 years of his life, he was very sick too. And as he had a stroke and many things that didn't enable him to think clearly what to turn it around. And he wasn't living in a community that supported that goal. And so he needed community at that time of people that hold that idea while he was physically not able to do that himself. So physical illumination means that I value still that physical body and see a realistic chance that I can transform the inhibitations or the limitations of that physical body. And of course, either with the physical body or without the physical body, with or without, we will go into the world of spirit. And so
I was just going to say, I think the thing that Ciara's expressing is part of the journey, like, and because otherwise you're in resistance to dying. If you're not, like, losing your physical body, like that it's okay if we don't make it. We're going for this. This is a goal. Blah blah blah. Like, that's how I feel about it. I fully intend to hang around for a few hundred years at least, and actually it's 600. I'm going to be honest. I want to be here 600 years at least. Because I just want to see what that's like. People used to do that in ancient times, and they do it all the time in India. Why can't I do it? And but I do think you have to have that as an option. Oh, well, if I don't make it, there's something I wasn't seeing, and yep, I'll have another go next time.
Yeah, that cynical remarks about Leonard's passing, see, he was wrong. That's just human meanness, that's just nastiness, because he brought so much. Why would people be cynical about him passing away? Because he was such an inspiration, and with all the challenges that he had, so he deserves love and respect and appreciation for that. And I think also when we get a little bit older, I think there is a certain amount of detachment that we are not attached to this life so much anymore. We are not so attached to looking physically always beautiful like we strive for when we're young. So there is a certain letting go of things that are meaningful in regards to the physical body. But that doesn't mean that we can't call the spirit down to transform that physical body. So, I mean, just a few other thoughts on that. So now I will just talk about the Saint Germain Foundation so that I don't mix it. I think Arti has also a problem with electricity. And so so Mr. Ballard, that was his name, the writer of the book, Unveiled Mysteries, he had actual experiences with the Ascended Master, especially his personal, or especially with Saint Germain, who has been working behind the scenes with humanity for the ascension, to ascend into a state of complete happiness, bliss, mastery, and power, to raise our human nature to the level that we are equal to the angelic beings, or to the ascended masters and the immortal masters. And so all of humanity, so there is people that are working behind the scene that we actually upgrade, uplift our thoughts, our feelings, and our physical body into it. And if people want to check it out, as I said, we are going to do on the 8th of January, we're going to do a meeting. But you can also check out Saint Germain Foundation, and they have every Sunday in Europe, they have a call, which is called the I Am in Action. So basically, the charge that Saint Germain gave to Mr. Ballard was that we have our higher I Am presence above us, and that that is the source of all life, of all inspiration, and we can bring that down into the physical structure. I might not be explaining that very well, I'm sorry, as I I don't have the chart with me I could show you, but just everybody at this moment, you can just visualize there is above us, there is our higher presence, and there is our mental body also. And so that is the source and the connection with all of life. And that is always with us, but we are forgetting that we have that I Am presence that is actually, could be in charge, instead of the lower human self that lives in the limitation and can't see the perception of something more pure, more healthy, more whole, more complete, and more powerful. So our job as human beings is to embody that I Am presence into the physical reality. And that is considered ascension in the Saint Germain Foundation. And so just if you want to check that out, and if anybody watches this and you want to have more information, you can just contact me through my email, heikestrombach@gmail.com, and then participate in that meeting. I think it is very, very beautiful and transformative and helpful work. So we need all the help that we can get, because life on this lower level is really intense and spiked with a lot of possible pain. And when we are only on that lower level here, and we don't connect with the spirit, the higher self, the I am presence, or the masters, it seems physical illumination is just a crazy idea, because on that level we are not going to make it. This level, this human lower level, will not have any form of mastery. The only mastery that there could be is that's turning it into a machine if we want to make it last. But to make it last with the spirit only is possible with the ascended masters or the immortal masters and the angelic host. And so when during my mom's passing, I was always talking to her higher self. And that helped me to transcend that human suffering, the extreme, when you see your mom, struggling for air, and that image was so devastating, and I could only transform it when I tune into the spirit, where all that is unreal, where that has no meaning. So physical illumination, or I like that. We should just start working with that. Physical illumination is very practical because it involves all life, all our life. Can I hand it over to somebody? Anybody else? Joanne, you have more about the questions that Sarah asked? Arti moved.
Actually, I have some internet issue.
Yeah, I thought so.
Very difficulty to some issue in my Wi-Fi. So,
okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Joanne, do you have anything?
I was just going to ask Ciara if she had any ideas about new names for the concept of physical immortality.
Oh, when we were talking about that thread on the RI Reba group, I was like, I don't know. I like the idea of renaming it, and I like that physical illumination that you've just said, Heike. That does resonate with me.
Joanne, now Irene came up with it.
Irene said that it's actually from Leonard. Like, that's what she said on that thread. That Leonard used to use that term.
And we also contemplated the homo luminous and human illumination. So we will get together and see, to have it just like I said before, to have it more explanatory, or really having the light in the word.
Yeah, I like physical illumination the best out of those options, because that's what we're doing. We're illuminating the physical,
right,
and allowing spirit to really work through us rather than mind.
Yeah, the lower mind and the lower level of
So my goal at the moment is actually creating heaven on earth right now. So, and that is where I might change my mind in the future.
If life becomes
but creating heaven on earth is, and that is from a spiritual, bringing the spirit in and working clearly through the body. So because we can, it's just so seductive when we get caught up in the pain and the trivia of the world, trying to seduce us out of our natural state.
Right. And
Yeah.
the pain, and it is real in that moment.
It does.
And so, and then to say it doesn't exist or I can transform it, first of all, I have to trust in my own power. So I have to strengthen my confidence, my abilities, that I have a say, actually, that I'm not the victim. And so we as humanity, we feel ourselves as a victim right now, most of the time. So we are victim to war, to natural catastrophes. And so we are feeling like this powerless bunch of beings that is thrown around by life.
And this is where we go back to the Indian teachings of Maya and the illusion, and how all of this is. And when we really, really get it, like we mentally get it, but we're not putting it in action. We're not actually living it. Seeing through Maya.
And so I have to acknowledge my higher power all the time. And so and then, your car breaks down. How do you you feel like, okay, you're stopped. And actually, the last time I was able to see my mom, my car broke down on the way to to see her, and my neighbor gave me his car, and but it was like me being thrown around by the circumstances. But I was so thankful because I stayed calm, and solutions appeared. And so when I got to the hospital a bit shaken up, about do I make it or not, I could still I could reconnect with my divine power and be in that energy. So I continuously have to make a choice. Where do I want to be? Do I want to be in my lower human self that says I'm powerless? Or do I want to be in my I am presence and say, I can do this, and there is a solution, and I get help. Getting help is a wonderful thing. And I felt my mom was so supported, and I received so much support in that process. And yes, physical death is good. Like my mom is happy and free being out of the body. But it doesn't mean that is that we can have we can have also a more expanded goal. And we will, as humanity, we will reconnect with that power, and then all this pain, disease, impotency will all be gone, because we do have the internal power then to transform the physical body. We have the power to only stay in constructive, positive thinking, and not think, oh God, it's heavy. Ooh, how do I get out of it? Those thoughts will not be there in our mind anymore. And only then do we have that power. So that's why rebirthing breathwork is so important, because when we clean our emotional mind, then we can see the potential. And so it's a continuous process that we are in, and death is a wonderful option. As long as we are living in that reality the way it is. Reality, the planet Earth has to transform too. And the Earth will also ascend. So that there is a different vibration. Joanne.
I was just going to say, I think a very important word that's been coming up for me today is that you just said is the potential. And Ciara's talking about that as well. Like, what is heaven on earth? What does it look like? And what is the potential of humanity? Like, if we work in cahoots with ascended masters and angels and stuff. Because I think it's a whole lot more fun than we've ever imagined.
And so that's why we're having those meetings, because we want to keep inspiring people to look at the potential. That we don't stay stuck here and say, okay, well, I have no power. And there is many good things out there. But the good thing is, if we focus on something that really works on the transcendence, on the ascension, on the highest level. There is many techniques, but if the techniques stay on the superficial level and just on the physical level, then you might be having a good practice, but it doesn't bring you up. Joanne.
Yeah, and what is really important is actually walking our talk and living it. It's great to be, to speak about these things, but to actually do it is mastery. And that's what we learn in rebirthing, is that mastery is key.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a continuous process.
Yeah, totally.
Joanne.
I was just going to say sort of what the difference between living in density and ascension is that like when we live in density, we think that we're the ones that are doing it all, and we're not.
Bang on.
That, like, because we feel separate from everything, but as we ascend, we feel more connected to everything, and I don't know, my experience is more and more I just have to decide what I want and it comes. If it's in a pure wanting, if it's not a me trying to be God thing, just me going, oh, wouldn't this be fun? Or
this is it. Get to
this problem, please, or whatever, like. And
get to the stage of it's a game.
Yeah.
And wouldn't this be fun? Yeah. I don't have to struggle. I don't have to keep wondering, where money's going to come from and where, how to survive. It's having fun.
Yeah.
Well, it is knowing that there is an abundance and that the life. Monkeys.
Monkeys.
Monkeys, I'm going.
That's hilarious.
It's a great place to practice, Heike.
Yeah.
I lost my glasses. I have to pick up my glasses, but I don't know what they're doing. I'm going.
Okay.
That's the struggle of the world.
So, Heike, what's your resistance to staying on this call right now?
Well, it's sunshine.
You've
now.
created monkeys.
Well, they're always here, but they had some. Oh, there's more monkeys. You want to see some monkeys? There's one above me. There.
Yeah.
And I think somebody got. Oh, there's more here. Let's see.
They come for food there, do they?
No, they had something more severe happening. I don't know. Oh, there's more. I have never heard them like that. Somebody got beaten up. That was the struggle of the world, and the animals will also change because they will not feel the aggression. That's the transformation of the planet Earth. Everybody got woken up. So lunch break is over. Oh, gee. Everybody came out of the room. Okay. Well, Arti, anything else? Is your internet working?
Yeah, it's sometimes just lost and sometimes working. So I'm
Yeah,
just enjoy to listen your experience, everyone's, and I want to keep save that.
okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay. I have the German time. It's 9:22. Indian time now is 1:45. Is that correct?
Okay.
Okay. And
Yes,
Australia
yes, 150 now.
1:50 now. Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, if anybody else has something else to share, otherwise we can also wrap up the meeting. And but basically, that's what I learned from Leonard, is that we have to keep exploring, we have to keep
Yeah.
learning, we have to keep growing, we have to do things that spark us, that inspire us, and that give us a bigger idea of our potential, of our unlimited human self, which includes ascension and transformation and physical illumination. And learning and growing to become better human beings and inspire and love more deeply. And we are all doing that. So I just want to say that I love our community and anybody who's watching here, and the community of people, of rebirthers, that because rebirthing keeps you in the flow, rebirthing keeps you growing. You can't give yourself a rebirthing session and not grow and not become a better person. And that's a beautiful thing. You can't do any damage with it. You can only reach deeper levels of human beauty, and they're still fighting down there. Now the dogs are involved too. I will go for a swim in a moment in the river. Okay, my dear ones. Today, what else will happen? So the Spanish group has made a video. They will publish today. I did 3 interviews with friends here in Hedakan. That's already on Facebook. And then we will come on again, Ciara actually, and Peace. And I probably help start the meeting. That's 10:30 my time though tonight. And everybody will be silent. So I can't be sitting outside because it's 5 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
And I also can't talk so loud because there is silence in the ashram. And I want to thank everybody who's been watching it. And again, happy birthday to Leonard. And thank you, Leonard, for all the inspiration that you brought to us. And you are definitely not forgotten. You are still a light in all who you have been in that incarnation, and definitely available to us in the world of spirit, and guiding us. And so I point
Makan Sinkije.
Hey, and I will show you the river again. and the beauty where I'm living right now for another 5 days. And Bole Baba Ki Jai from Heidakan Center, Vishwa Mahadam, and blessings and light and happiness to all of us. Om Namah Shivaya. I will
Om
finish
Namah
the
Shivaya.
meeting.
Where are you
Bye.
going next?
I will go to Delhi and then to Bangalore and to Pune and then back to Delhi. And on 23rd of December, I will go back home.
Okay, wow. So you're gonna are you going to the not in Pune, are you going to the center, the
I will,
children's
no,
school?
yeah, that's in Bangalore. No, I will go
Bangalore.
to Rajendra and Sneha in
Oh,
Pune.
great.
Om
Oh,
Namah Shivaya.
wonderful.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Thank you for everybody for being here.